It's a Wednesday morning, which means it's time for the latest update on what's happening news-wise across the world when it comes to Saffers here and overseas. And of course, telling us all the good news and all the fantastic stuff from a very warm, it looks like, Antibes in France. We have Jenni Baxter. Of course, I'm Melanie Walker, sitting in a really cold Johannesburg. But welcome to it, and hi, Jen.
How's it, Mel? How are you?
Absolutely fantastic, apart from the fact that it's freezing. And, isn't that just the way to go? The moment that it starts getting too cold, woohoo, cue load shedding. But I've got something that's going to warming me up, because you got hold of me and said, Nandos wants to get hold of you. Check this out. It is a Brightside Kit, because Halala, you've been load shedded. So it's time to pick a side. Okay, so I like the idea of this, and I want to tell you what's in it, okay? So, I haven't had one of these for years. First of all, they've got 2 candles. Okay? 2.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And what they've done is they've also supplied with a lovely little Zippo lighter with the Nandos thing on it, and I've just got to remember how to use a Zippo. Remember, we used to do all of those kind of wonderful things. So there's that, and then there's also no better way than a load shedding day. Viva free sides. Viva 200 rands worth of free sides from Nandos, and then there's also, I'm not quite sure what kind of sweeties these are. But anyway, so it's a lovely little kit with candles and a lighter, and I'm very happy. Well done, Nandos. Anything that you need, just flame grilled to actually fill you up and make you feel just that little bit warmer. Yeah, so there we go.
Oh, that is so cool. Oh, brilliant. Enjoy that.
Yeah, when days are dark, sides are many. So we got to pick one.
Yeah, the humour always warms you up as well.
Oh, yeah, no, they're absolutely fantastic. All right, so we said, load shedding, yes, it's back again at level 2 at the moment. So if I suddenly disappear, you know why. No, we're not scheduled in my area, I think, until tomorrow again.
And lucky you.
It's like from today, I think it was from 10 until 9 tonight or something, and then tomorrow it'll be 5 o'clock in the morning until whatever until Sunday. So let's keep fingers crossed that they've kept the coal dry and that there aren't any saboteurs and all of that stuff. Yep, at least we have it.
Well, one of my colleagues in Cape Town, who normally is doing all the work while I'm doing the podcast, she's being load shedded. So it's a little bit of a pain, but c'est la vie.
Yeah, time for solar. We have enough sunny. I mean, it's a beautiful, well, actually not that much of a sunny day. It looks like it's very grey outside in Johannesburg, which is very odd. But anyway, so we're not going to let grey days get us down. There is a little bit of sunshine. We can get our washing dry. And hopefully we won't have to be washing too many masks in the future, which would be very pleasant. Or creating more, putting masks on, and putting them into landfill. Of course, mine all go into my eco bricks, which I'm making for a friend who needs a chicken coop.
That's great. That's
talking
great.
About chicken.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's all on your mind. We've got some South African friends staying at the moment, and it takes them we've got 2 different sets of friends, and it takes them about 2 days to get used to just forgetting about COVID. Not having to wear masks, not just being normal again. But at least now they'll go back to South Africa, and it looks like it'll be normal there as well.
Well, what is normal? Yeah. What is the definition of normal these days?
Well, not having to wear a mask, hey, and having full
maskless society.
A maskless society, and having full sports stadiums again.
Yeah, no, that would be great, especially as, it's rugby season. Of course, the Bokke, I'm sure we're going to be talking about them. They've been done so amazingly well. Also, you've got a whole thing here about Gift of the Givers. Because of course,
Nelson Mandela Bay.
Day 0 down in Joburg, Port Elizabeth.
Well, I think it's days away. I think it's like hours away or something. Mm-hmm. And it's just lovely. The Musa family, who kind of own Sunfoil, the sunflower oil company, they were having dinner at some event and were talking to our beautiful Dr. Suleiman from Gift of the Givers. And, just in conversation, discovered what they were doing, and that they were sending borehole equipment down to Nelson Mandela Bay. And so they've thrown in 5 million rand to help, which will be a huge help for those people that are just desperate for water. And I can't believe in Tongaat, they already did Tongaat. They were 6 weeks, which is near to where I live, obviously, or where I come from. 6 weeks without water before Gift of the Givers stepped in and put some boreholes in. It's insane. And then the other thing I'm finding quite interesting is watching the conversations in South Africa right now. I don't know if you saw Tom Eaton. Sort of, he's trying to say these have nothing to do with governance and everything to do with the climate. And then Helen Zill and other people are saying it has all to do with governance. And in fact, I think Cape Town has offered Quebec assistance.
Yeah.
I personally think it's a little bit of both, because a lot of water in Nelson Mandela Bay has gone to waste because of governance.
Yeah, look, I mean, you've got
Plus, it's the climate.
People, but it's also, people have got to understand that we are a water-stressed country here in South Africa. So, just think about others as well. Like when we had in Cape Town and people were like, oh, well, I've got water, I'm going to use it. And people going, oh, I have a borehole, so I'm going to use it as well. Those boreholes will dry up one day. So just be a little bit more sussed, okay? Don't wash your car on bricks. Go and put it in the garden, because you can water your garden at the same time. In fact, don't even wash your car. I believe that a dirty car is a happy car. Like a noisy tappet is a happy tappet. Sorry, I'm getting my car fixed, so there's all that stuff.
What's a tappet?
No, it's a part of an engine, Jenny.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I was kind of seeing a tulip or something. Yeah.
No.
We had, what we had? So on the positive side, for you being cold and is, last night was the longest night for us in Europe and probably the shortest day for you in the Southern Hemisphere, 21st of June. So we had our fabulous Fête de la Musique, where all around France people are allowed to just sing and play. People who don't normally get an opportunity, like nobody would sign them or whatever. So it's fantastic. The one year I was walking through Antibes, and down by a well where the horses used to go, there was this group of French people singing Shosholoza.
Oh,
which
lovely.
Was like,
nice.
So spiritual, so beautiful, yeah. So it's a fabulous night.
Excellent.
Do you remember that song, Unbelievable?
Yes.
Yeah, Unbelievable.
I'm not.
Do you remember that?
I do remember.
Yeah. No. Well, JD was out the other night and bumped into the guy from Unbelievable. So she was sending me all this stuff in the middle of the night,
lovely.
which is quite cool. I used to love him. And then last night she bumped into a guy who was a huge Johnny Clegg fan. So at the music festival, he was playing Johnny Clegg music.
Oh, and of course, there's that big festival, that big concert that's coming up with all those bands for the Johnny Clegg
tribute
concert, the tribute concert. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah. Okay, so what news have we got for expats around the world?
Well, next week in London, John Steenhuisen from the DA leader will be in London to meet with South Africans abroad to let them know, what's going on in SA in his opinion, and particularly to focus on the cadre deployment and what they're doing, how they're taking that to court and what they're doing to change that. So anybody in London, I think it's Tuesday evening. Details are on SAPeople.com.
Fantastic.
And it's a free event. And there's also some big news happening at the embassy, but I can't say any more. But watch this space.
Well,
yes.
Okay. Well, I'll just have to wait and hear from you then.
I'll tell you.
You tell us next week. That's a very good idea. Oh, and talking about South Africans doing great things abroad, I was so happy to find out, like the moment that it happened, from a friend of mine whose daughter was the producer of Penguin Town, which of course we mentioned before, which went out on Netflix, which I absolutely loved.
Yes.
Shot in Simon's Town.
Loved.
Was nominated for 6 Daytime Emmy Awards, and they got 3, including the big one. So of course Karen the mother of Kaylee Christos from Red Rock Films. Okay, Corin Abers Christos was like my closest friend at school. So she sent me that. She knows how much I enjoyed it. She said, "Oh, they got 3 awards." So of course I just put it up all over the place immediately. I was so
that is
so
brilliant.
very well done to them
So
for
well
that
deserved.
series. Yeah, and they were like sending pictures to her of them on the red carpet and in Los Angeles.
Oh,
and I'm just thinking, what a
beautiful.
wonderful thing to happen. Oh my goodness. I'm just checking out what they got here. They got Outstanding Travel, Adventure and Nature Series, Outstanding Cinematography, and that's Outstanding Sound Mixing and Sound Editing. And the major team, the 3 South Africans and 1 Norwegian. So there we go. Well done.
Oh, fantastic. And while we're talking movies or TV shows, whatever, you know that there was also the launch last week, the premiere last week of Blind Ambition in London. And, did you see Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yes.
Okay, so the woman who played the girlfriend of Freddie Mercury?
Yes.
I've forgotten her name now, but she's so lovely. Well, it turns out that her father's from Zimbabwe. So this film is about 4 Zimbabwean refugees who went to South Africa, had never tasted wine because there weren't really vineyards when they were growing up in Zimbabwe, had never really tasted wine, but somehow just got lured into the wine industry in South Africa, and had a dream to become world-class or award-winning wine tasters, champion wine tasters. And so the film is about that. Erica Platter, her and her husband John Platter do the very famous SA Wine Guide. She put a wine expert onto these 4 guys a few years ago. They did a crowd fundraiser. So all the people in South Africa helped make this movie, this documentary come true, made it come true that the 4 guys went over to Burgundy in France. It is so heartwarming. I think it's coming out in South Africa in July.
Okay.
But it's a really cool story.
Okay,
and it's true.
It's coming out on?
About the 26th of July.
And on which channel?
Oh, it's a movie.
Oh,
It'll be like at the Labia Theatre.
So it's not on a
yes.
TV. Oh, okay.
No.
So I'll definitely go and have a look for that. But staying with entertainment, I see, Binnelanders.
Yes, Binnelanders has a new season to stream. So whether you're in South Africa or overseas, if you've got Showmax International, you can watch it. And it keeps you in touch with your Afrikaans and just with the beautiful landscape of South Africa, And then, Mel, are you okay?
I'm choking on air.
Oh, have you got some water?
I do. Look, I'm just going to cry because it's so wonderful
Oh.
to see you. No, I'm joking. Anyway, sorry.
Don't, I was enjoying that.
Mm.
Oh, man.
I have some of my wonderful water. Okay.
I love that.
There.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the other stuff for
Yes.
from Expats.
Okay, so and can I just quickly say a shout out to 2 guys who just did so well. There was this enduro competition in Austria. There's like over 1,000 entrants, only 500 qualified, only 8 finished in the 4-hour qualifying time, of which 2 of those were South Africans, which is Wade Young and Matthew Green. And Matthew's only 20. He was the only junior to finish in the time. So absolutely amazing, brilliant, great futures ahead for them.
So there's some other mad people doing some stuff overseas as well. David Belair's, I'm just looking him up quickly. He is the guy who puts together the Cape Argus or the Cape Cycle Tour. So he's racing the planet in Georgia. And they're saying about how hectic it's been with the weather and freezing cold and all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, if you want to go and check him out, they've got a whole team.
What's the surname again?
Bellairs, Bellairs. So it's a lovely little story he's got going there. I think they're completely mad. Everything that he puts on it, so you're mad. There's no other thing for it. Anyhow, all right. So now news from.
And then can I
what else have you got?
and so can I tell you my Drake news is that Drake, who you obviously know,
Yes.
Drake suddenly dropped this surprise album that nobody was expecting, and it's called Honestly Nevermind. And a lot of people, when they heard the album, they were like, "Yeah, honestly, Nevermind." You know, they weren't in love with it because it's not your normal Drake kind of music. Instead of sort of hip hop rap, this is actually house music. 4 of the tracks have been produced by Black Coffee, South Africa's award-winning DJ. Yeah, but the initial reaction was really resistant to it. But Drake said, yeah, I'll wait for you all to catch up. And basically people are catching up. And what it is that they're saying post-pandemic, it's actually time for everyone to dance again, to get moving, to get happy. And so that's why he's done a house music album. So
Fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
And thanks to Black Coffee.
About people doing wonderful things musically as well. A friend of mine, Gavin Koppel, who's Kay's daddy. He's also on LM Radio, and I mean, he's working with my old producer from Radio Today, Jackie Kanapi, and they do the best show. And like whenever they know I'm listening, they always start like
Funky Monkey.
Yeah, the Funky Monkey.
Yeah.
They start ragging me. And like I'll send them messages, WhatsApp, saying, "You guys, I better stop it. I'm going to come and get you." Anyway, he's been overseas and been having an absolute blast, going to wonderful concerts and posting pictures as well.
Yes, and you saw obviously that he went to Paul McCartney's concert on the eve of his 80th birthday.
I know,
Can you
that
believe
man
that?
still rock and roll, man. Come on.
Yeah, but you know, Mick Jagger's out there as well right now, 78 years old. He just got over his COVID and he's back on stage in Italy or somewhere.
The person that, of course, like always, the 2 people that really kind of get me going is Cliff Richards, who still looks like Peter Pan, and Keith Richards. The 2
yeah, it's so
like
true.
He's been around since God was a boy.
Yeah.
Anyhow. All right, so let's get on to some local good news.
Yes, there's so much. Have you seen the whole Braaibroekies thing?
I know what a Braaibroekie is.
Oh, no, I've said it. Braaibroekies.
I don't know what
I'm pronouncing it wrong. Okay, so you know brookies, like you wear brookies. Okay, so what it is
underpants,
this.
For those of those people who don't know what brookies are.
Okay, but these are shorts actually, and they're made from dishcloths. You know those like checkered kitchen dishcloths.
Towels,
so that when men are braaiing, they can wipe their hands on the dishcloths.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, so the whole thing's been going viral. Everybody getting really excited. Videos on TikTok, But they've been, as soon as it was launched a couple of months ago, there've just been so many copycats. So now there's a little bit of controversy over who really started it. But I think it's a Cape Town guy, Jason Hardy.
But listen, I mean, the whole thing is, if something's on TikTok, I mean, everybody goes and does their version of whatever everybody else is doing on TikTok, okay? And then they post
think
that.
He wasn't on TikTok first, so he's saying
the
TikTokers came.
TikTok is that they will take it and make it theirs. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Don't get something original.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay, and I see that you also Drakensberg Boys Choir has got 2 nights in Joburg. I'm going tomorrow night.
I'm so glad.
A bit of culture.
Divine. Yeah. And so you're taking both of them?
Yes. We are going.
Oh, you're so lucky. You got a +2.
I got a +2, yes. I got hold of the wonderful Colette Dawson and said, is there any possibility, because you're going to have to make me choose between my children, and they both want to
Sophie's choice. Yeah.
So I said, I can't really do that.
Yeah.
So she said, no,
that's brilliant.
Which is fantastic.
Okay.
And
we'll have an article. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, we're going to have an article on SAPeople today for anybody who didn't know that they were going to be in Gauteng, and all the details on how to get tickets and everything.
Okay, fantastic. Oh yeah, I was just about to say that I follow a whole bunch of different things, and of course I was, until I had to teach at the same time that they run Park Run, I used to go and do the park run at Delta Park all the time. And
I
then
remember.
like, thinking about that, and I'm friends with Bruce Fordyce. I mean, we used to do a lot of stuff for Etuba together. And I see, oh, he's over in London doing stuff with Park Run over there, because of course he's the one who's championed it here in South Africa.
Yeah, because he ran in London in 2011. I never realized that. He ran in a park run at Bushy Park and said, oh, this has got to go to South Africa. So it was him, and he's the president of Park Run.
Yes.
Who knew? And now he's doing an even better thing. He is champion getting 200 fibrillators. I can never pronounce that word. Did I say it right? That's it, defibrillator, yeah.
Too many L's and R's in that for you, defibrillators.
But 200 of those, so they have got a Back a Buddy campaign. We have got details on the site. Anybody who wants to support, he says not a lot of people do have problems at Park Run, but if you have a problem, there's a 65% increased chance of survival if there is a defib on hand. Nah, not going there.
What other people have been helping other people?
Oh, there's a lovely story. A guy, Kobus Late, he actually, Smith's Winkel that Wilbur Smith used to often put in his books, the most beautiful bay. And you've got to go down lots and lots of stairs to get to it. I'm not saying it wrong. Smith's Winkel. Anyway, it's beautiful, and he actually runs camps there for children from townships. So if anybody ever wants to support him, because they obviously were not supported during lockdown, they do a lot of good, and there are a lot of kids on the waiting list. But what he did recently is that Zone Radio announced about a woman who was desperate for a wheelchair for her daughter, and she was having to carry her daughter everywhere. And I know with Tara, it's too heavy to carry your child everywhere, And so she was desperate, and Kobus remembered that Taiwan sponsors wheelchairs in Cape Town. And walking aids. So I don't know how it happened. And so he got hold of Felicity Purchase, who is the councillor in Fishhook, I think. And she got hold of the Taiwan people, and there the wheelchair has been delivered.
Excellent.
And
how lovely.
Yeah. So
Okay.
well done, Kobus.
And now I see you've got here as well something which we're not going to get too much into the discussion about it, okay? But then there's been a lot of things happening. I've seen all over Facebook and in the news about letting the Ellies at the Joburg Zoo go back to where they came from. Or not to where they came from, but go to a different place,
A rewilding place that's just more natural for them. It's groundbreaking, the court case, the application that's just been lodged at the South African High Court, and it'll be for the 3 elephants to be, I think Lummi is the most famous of the 3. There used to be those free Lummi banners and whatever. According to them, the elephants are not being looked after at Joburg Zoo how they should be, and children could learn a lot more by watching some live streaming of them. That's what they say. And then there's a community leader, a Khoi guy, who's also saying, all these droughts, all these things, it's because we're not treating nature with respect, and animals should be in the wild creating rain.
Okay. But then just remember, of course, that a lot of the animals that have ended up in the zoo have been taken from places which were not optimal. And there are some animals that cannot be rewilded. So, and zoos do actually do a lot of good, not just with
a lot of research.
There's a lot of research that goes on. A lot of the money goes into, the chimpanzee, what's it called, the refuge up in, I think in Mpumalanga somewhere, where the zoo is very involved with that as well. So don't always kind of demonize the zoos unless they're really bad zoos. Joburg Zoo is actually fantastic, and there are a lot of kids who get to see animals in the flesh that they would never have seen except in pictures. And it's like,
but then what they're saying is,
because they've never seen a cow, a real cow.
Yeah, but then what they're saying is, for these children to see the animal in the flesh, you're just treating the animal as an entertainment value. What is the benefit to the elephant? Yes, it's a benefit to
there's
children.
No benefit for the elephant. I totally agree. So I'm going to talk both sides. I'm Libran and I'm a lawyer, so I'll always debate both sides. But anyway, so
Yes.
let's just see what happens with that. Okay, right. What have you got coming up on this? I mean, we've got so many things that are so good that we can talk about. But what is coming up on SAPeople, the big story for next week?
It's about our founder, one of our co-founders, Amanda Sturgianus. I'm not sure if you ever met her, Mandy, from Cape Town. And when Mandy was living in London, her baby nearly died from an anaphylactic shock. And Mans has gone through incredible stuff, having to drive to hospitals in Cape Town, not knowing if her child's going to make it, really horrific stuff. And she's finally written a book, but it's a beautiful book for children who also have allergies. And it's called The Only Thing I'm Not Allergic to, the only peanut I'm not allergic to is my dog Peanut. Okay. And she has the most gorgeous little sausage dog called Peanut. So it's about that, and I've read. It's just beautiful because it just makes kids feel not so scared to go into hospital, to have a EpiPen, stuff like that. Yeah. So we'll have all the details next week and where you can get it.
Fantastic. And I mean, we should get into. I mean, I know I'm allergic to Johannesburg according to my doctor. So I'm allergic to cats, but I live with 2 cats as well. So we got to deal with what you got to deal with.
But Mel, it's interesting you say that, because somebody wrote on our Facebook page yesterday about how ever since they left Johannesburg, those sinus things that they used to suffer every year. It was quite. I thought of you straight away.
Dr. Vicky, who does Mansfield Today with us, I mean, we were talking about it when we were recording, and she just said, no, I tell you what, it's called Joburg sinus nose, because I was moaning about it. Like, listen to me, I'm all blocked up. She says, you and hundreds of other people in Joburg, and it's very much.
And is it a certain time of year?
No, it happens all the way through the year, but it's definitely worse, and I think it's been exacerbated by anybody who's had. I mean, for anybody who's had COVID as well. So it's taken it on just that little bit further. All right, so there we have it. We've got all of these amazing things, and if you haven't seen Penguin Towns, find out if you can get. Have a look at it, because I loved it. Some people were like, nah, I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it was shot.
No.
I loved every second of it. They said the story was contrived. So what?
Yeah,
it was still
just
natural. They made up a little narrative to go with it, sure. But I mean, look at the Octopus Teacher. Also did incredibly well. We should be supporting our South African cinematographers and documentary makers. Absolutely brilliant. Well done to them.
Totally.
And we will catch up with my little moment for getting on there. All right, so people.
I love that box.
Go out and be good to other people. Okay, go and don't say, oh, I'm so miserable, life is so hard. Go out and just see if you can help one other person. Okay, even if it's just to say hi to somebody who's looking really down, who's working as a cashier or whatever, or just give somebody a smile. I think that would make somebody's life. You never know what people are going through, and that could make all the difference in the world. Because I get that from Jenni every Wednesday, so I'm very, very happy. Jen, thank you so very much. It's always lovely to see you. Go and have your. Don't get locked out your house again, okay? We'll catch up with you again next week. Bye bye.